The Mixed Mornings and More podcast with Steph and Sean.
Now available daily.
Good morning, world. Hello, and welcome to Monday, April 25th, 2022. Sean is not here again today, but he will be back on Wednesday. And yes, I miss him.
5 a.m. Confessions.
Looking at the forecast this morning, I have to apologize. There was a spider in my bathroom and I did not make the right choice. So usually at my house, if there's a spider, my husband will come and rescue it from my displeasure and deep stares, because of course I can't take my eyes off it, and he'll take it outside. But it was 4 o'clock in the morning, so I figured he wouldn't get back to sleep if I woke him. So option 2 was to pretend I didn't see it. But then I was sure it would crawl in my mouth in my sleep, so I didn't really consider that a real option at all. And so option 3 happened, which was to kill it. And I know I risked making it rain, but there was a sandal in the bathroom, and so I started trying to hit it, and it started trying to get away, and it ran towards me, and after screaming and waking up my husband, I think I killed it. However, it was one of those hits where the spider disappears, so it could totally be in my hair right now. But if I was successful in killing it, I'll take responsibility for the newfound rain in the forecast tomorrow. It was me and a spider in the middle of the night. You ever look in the mirror in the morning before you leave your house and think, I look great? And then you get home at the end of the day and you're like, I've been walking around all day like this. What happened? That was me on Saturday. So my husband bought me a baseball cap for Christmas, and it's finally baseball cap season. So I took it out to wear it, put it on, went out for breakfast, was sitting down at a table. The waitress was towering over us. She had full view of my hat. I went garage sailing, ran some errands, worked in the yard, talked to all my neighbors all afternoon. About 10 hours later, I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror and discovered that this hat I was wearing still had a sticker on it, right on the brim. Now, some people in baseball hats, they leave on this shiny sticker. I don't know what it says about it, but that's just a style. This was not one of those stickers. This sticker said flex fit, small, medium. Like, it was not the kind that you leave on your hat. And I was like, I wonder if people think that I just got this hat, or they think I'm being cool by leaving this sticker on. Either way, I'm going to laugh about it later. I'm not there yet. It's too soon. Do you name your vehicles? My husband sent me a video yesterday of the car we were selling backing out of the driveway, and he said, "Bye, Matrix." And then we both realized at the same time, we never gave that poor car a name. We had it for 4 years, but all of our other cars have always had names. My current car is like a nice, beautiful, calming green, and so its name is Sage. When I was in high school, I had an Oldsmobile, and it was so old. It was a Delta 98, it was called, but it was a 1991. And I just felt like it was so old it needed an old person's name, so I called it Aunt Gertrude. And my cousin, Vanessa, she got to ride around in her parents' brand new minivan, so it was called Tiffany, because that felt like a young name. Do you name your cars? What do you call them? 780-791-1037. Is it something like a person's name, or are you just like, this car is Rust Bucket? Because that's what it is. I'm loving all the names that you're calling your cars as well. Desiree said her minivan is Vincent Van Gogh, but just Vince for short. So fun. Martine said her car is Ruby Slippers, but she just calls her Ruby. It's a Jeep Renegade after the Wizard of Oz. And she also has a blue Mitsubishi that she calls Alice after Alice in Wonderland. I used to live with a girl whose car was named Rosie, unless it was acting up. And then it was Rosalita, a bunch of expletives in Spanish. I have Jonathan Simon on the line right now, all the way from Newfoundland. We've called him this morning because we have to talk to him about this app I just found out about. Jonathan, is it called the Whaddaya app?
That's correct. It's the Whaddaya app, and it plays off the typical Newfoundland saying, "What do you at?"
What do you at? What does that mean?
So it's pretty straightforward, pretty common here in Newfoundland, and it just means, what are you doing? So very common expression, what are you at? Yes, bye, how's it going? Those types of things.
Okay. So what does the app do? Is it a translator, right?
Yeah, so we call it Newfoundland and Labrador's dialect translator. So there's a number of typical common Newfoundland expressions that a lot of people in Newfoundland have even never heard of, depending on where you'd be from. And, of course, anybody outside of Newfoundland, a lot of people that are not from here or don't have relations to here have a hard time kind of figuring out what we're saying sometimes. So that's sort of how it all started, really.
All right, tell me some of the sayings on there.
Well, there's quite a few. One of my favorites, I think, has to be, hey, buddy, why don't you take a long walk off a short wharf? So that's been a favorite of mine, and it's a nice way to tell someone, to back off kind of thing.
To back off. I like how kind you were in saying the back off kind of translation of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people can download it, and then you can just kind of see what the person just said to you, what they actually meant?
Yeah, that's right. So when you download it, and it's currently on the Apple's App Store, we're working on the Android version as we speak. Just going to put some finishing touches on that. So Apple users can go right now to the App Store, and they can download it. And the first download that you get, there's going to be 30 sayings, and then you can add more if you wish. So there is an in-app purchase feature where if you want to add another 30 up to 150 sayings in total, you can download them in increments of 30. So once it's downloaded and it's installed on your phone, you can go through, you press the beer cap by, and it'll take you through all the different sayings. And then we actually give a little sort of our version or what our interpretation of the Newfoundland saying is in text on the screen.
Oh, amazing. Oh, my goodness. So funny. I cannot believe that there are 150 different sayings that I wouldn't know what they mean.
And a lot of people away, it came out actually a little over 10 years ago, and we did a lot of updates, and we kind of did a relaunch of it in September. And the whole idea first was not just to have fun with it here in Newfoundland for Newfoundland Labradorians, but for anybody that's away that has ties to here, that, they don't get home very often, or they've got a significant other or a relative from Newfoundland and Labrador, just to have some fun with it. And anybody who's living away that is from here, it's a neat way to kind of, a little piece of home. It's a little bit of culture, and it kind of reminds a lot of people about Newfoundland and Labrador.
For sure. Thank you so much for taking the time. How do you say thank you and goodbye in Newfoundlandese?
I guess it would be more or less thanks bye. There's a lot of
perfect.
byes thrown around, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I hope you enjoy the app, and I hope a lot of people in Fort McMurray have fun with it.
I think we will, for sure. I really appreciate you taking the time this morning, my friend.
No problem. Thanks for the call.
Well, good morning. We have a special treat this morning. We have Sandy MacDonald. You might know him as Greb or Winky's dad, the guy who rides around with a motorcycle and a dog in his sidecar. Sandy, thanks for joining me this morning.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Now, we wanted to chat this morning about a more serious subject a little bit, which is the International Day of Mourning. And I would love to hear a little bit about your role in the union local IUOE 955 and what you do for a living.
I joined the operating engineers in Saskatchewan in 1990. Transferred up here came up here as a travel card in 2000 actually, and transferred into 955 that year. And I've been a crane operator with Northern Crane since I came up here. And I'm a crane operator on mostly Syncrude sites right now.
Awesome. And what would you say the National Day of Mourning is about?
About remembering those mourning and remembering those lost in the workplace and hopefully preventing it from happening again.
And you said in an email to me that safety is a huge, huge part of your job. Could you elaborate on how the union works to keep workers safe?
Our union, with training, mentoring, like we send guys to the States and all over for training, and they don't dispatch someone without proper training, and training is a big part of the whole thing.
How many hours would you say you spend thinking about safety a week?
Oh, God, I don't know. Depends on I work. I'm working 10 or 12 hours. Most of your day, you're thinking about safety. Like, the morning starts with a safety meeting. Then we do an FLRA, field level risk assessment. Like, you don't do a job without it. It's like a checklist. You and the crew go over the whole thing, find any hazards. If you can't eliminate the hazard, you find a way to control it. And that's a big part of the workforce since a long time. So safety's huge.
Sandy, I really appreciate you chatting with us this morning. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, just Wiki Days coming up on June 5th. Hopefully have a safe ride there.
Perfect. We'll be out there for sure with the radio station as well. Thank you so much for all you do in our community.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sponsoring us.
Want more of today's show?
Download the Mixed Mornings and More podcast.
Now available every weekday.